Did you know that The Simpsons, America's beloved yellow family, have predicted the future multiple times? Yes, our favorite animated sitcom has been doing more than just entertaining us with its witty humor and lovable characters. It's been subtly forecasting the future. The Simpsons, a seemingly simple animated sitcom, has been on air for over 3 decades now. Within these years, the show has demonstrated an uncanny ability to predict real-world events long before they occur. From technological advancements to political outcomes, The Simpsons has, time and again, proven its prophetic prowess. Some of the most notable predictions include foreseeing Donald Trump's presidency, the advent of smartwatches, and even the outbreak of the Ebola virus. These aren't mere coincidences or lucky guesses. They're a testament to the show's insightful commentary on contemporary society and its trajectory. So, buckle up and prepare to have your mind blown. Let's delve deeper into these uncanny predictions, shall we? The year was 2000, and The Simpsons predicted a future presidency. In the whimsically dystopian episode Bart to the Future, the writers spun the yarn of a world where Lisa Simpson assumes the presidency. And who was her predecessor in this animated alternate reality? None other than Donald Trump. Yes, you heard that right. The Simpsons, in their characteristically cheeky style, slotted Trump into the Oval Office a full 16 years before he even announced his candidacy in the real world. The episode painted a picture of a nation in debt, with President Lisa Simpson left to clean up the economic mess left by Trump. The Simpsons' knack for eerily accurate predictions has been the topic of many a water cooler conversation. But this particular instance of political prophecy, it's uncanny to say the least. Was it merely a coincidence, a lucky guess, or a premonition from the creative minds behind Springfield's most famous family? A coincidence or a premonition, you decide. In 1995, The Simpsons predicted one of the biggest tech revolutions of the 21st century. It was in the episode titled Lisa on Ice, where we see Kearney, one of Springfield's resident bullies, instruct Dolph to take a memo on his Apple Newton. Now, this might not ring a bell for some, but the Apple Newton was an early attempt at a personal digital assistant, or PDA, a precursor to the smartphones we can't seem to live without today. The scene is a brief one, but it's a clear nod to the rising influence of technology in our everyday lives. Kearney's use of the Apple Newton to write a reminder, "Beat up Martin," which hilariously misinterprets as "Eat up Martha," is a cheeky commentary on the sometimes flawed but promising technology of voice-to-text, a feature we now take for granted in our smartphones. Fast forward to 2007, The Simpsons did it again. In an episode titled Bart Gets a Z, we see Bart's teacher, Mrs. Krabappel, using a tablet for grading papers. This was a good 3 years before Apple would launch its first iPad. The Simpsons not only predicted the device, but also how we would use it. Today, tablets are a common sight in classrooms worldwide, used for everything from taking notes to grading assignments. Such instances make one think, did The Simpsons have a crystal ball? Or were they just incredibly astute observers of trends and patterns? The show's creators have often stated that these predictions are merely coincidental, a result of the show's writer's room being filled with news junkies. But it's still fascinating to see how a seemingly whimsical animated sitcom could predict technological advances with such accuracy. The Simpsons have not only entertained us for decades, but have also given us a glimpse into the future. Their depictions of technology, no matter how humorous or exaggerated, have often been eerily prophetic, making us wonder what else this iconic show might have predicted that's yet to come. Who knew The Simpsons were tech prophets? The Simpsons didn't just predict politics and technology, they also had a knack for foreseeing sports outcomes. Now you might be thinking, come on, it's just a cartoon. But let's take a look at some uncanny coincidences. In a 2012 episode titled Lisa Goes Gaga, pop icon Lady Gaga is seen performing a halftime show suspended in mid-air, belting out her hits to the delight of the Springfield crowd. Fast forward to 2017, and what do we see? Lady Gaga at Super Bowl LI, performing her halftime show from the top of the stadium, suspended in mid-air, singing her heart out. It's almost as if the writers of The Simpsons had a crystal ball. But it doesn't stop there. Let's rewind to the early days of The Simpsons, back to a 1992 episode called Lisa the Greek. In this episode, Lisa develops a knack for predicting the outcomes of American football games. When it comes to the Super Bowl, she predicts a win for the Washington Redskins. And what happened in real life? You guessed it. The Washington Redskins clinched the Super Bowl victory. It's interesting to note that these predictions aren't just vague guesses, they are eerily specific. A halftime show featuring Lady Gaga, suspended in mid-air. That's not something you'd just randomly think up. A victory for the Washington Redskins in the Super Bowl? That's not a shot in the dark. So, what's going on here? Is it a series of lucky guesses, or is there something more? It's hard to say. But one thing is for sure. The Simpsons have a strangely impressive track record when it comes to predicting the future, especially in the realm of sports. So, the next time you're watching a sports game and you're unsure of who will come out on top, maybe you should turn to The Simpsons for some guidance. After all, they've been right before. Who's to say they won't be right again? Maybe next time we should place our bets based on The Simpsons. If predicting the future of technology, politics and sports wasn't enough, The Simpsons also predicted global events. Yes, you heard it right. The animated series has been eerily accurate in forecasting some major global happenings. Let's take a trip back to the year 1993. In an episode titled Marge in Chains, a mysterious virus from Asia causes a pandemic, gripping the town of Springfield in fear. The Osaka flu, as it was referred to in the show, bears a striking resemblance to the COVID-19 pandemic that swept the globe in 2020. The episode showcased scenes of chaos, with people desperately seeking a cure and societal order breaking down. Uncannily similar to the scenes witnessed in real life during the COVID-19 outbreak. It's almost as if the creators had a premonition of what was to come, 27 years in advance. But it's not just pandemics that The Simpsons have predicted. Let's switch gears and talk about sports. In the 2010 episode Boy Meets Curl, Homer and Marge form a mixed curling team with Agnes and Seymour Skinner. The team goes on to win gold at the Vancouver Winter Olympics, beating the seemingly unbeatable Swedish team. Fast forward 8 years to the 2018 Winter Olympics, and the US curling team pulled off a similar feat. They clinched the gold medal in a historic win against the highly favoured Swedish team. This was the first time the US had won gold in curling, just as it was for Homer and Marge in the episode. Whether it's a global health crisis or an underdog sports victory, The Simpsons seems to have an uncanny knack for predicting the future. It's almost as if The Simpsons have a crystal ball. One can't help but wonder, what else have they predicted that's yet to come true? Only time will tell, but for now, we'll just have to keep watching and wait for life to imitate this art yet again. It's clear that The Simpsons have an uncanny knack for predicting the future. As we draw to the close of our journey through the prophetic realm of this beloved animated sitcom, we find ourselves awestruck by the sheer accuracy of its predictions. The Simpsons, with their yellow-skinned charm, have astonished us time and again, peering into the crystal ball of the future with uncanny precision. Remember when they predicted the Trump presidency, a scenario that seemed far-fetched back in the year 2000? Yet 16 years later, the world watched in disbelief as art imitated life and Donald Trump ascended to the highest office in the land. Or consider the rise of smart devices. The Simpsons writers saw a future where watches would do much more than tell time, becoming an extension of our smartphones and a hub for communication. Today, we can't imagine a world without our tech-laden wrist companions. And let's not forget the eerily accurate prediction of a global pandemic. The Simpsons foresaw a world grappling with a mysterious virus, a scenario that played out in 2020 when the COVID-19 pandemic shook the world to its core. These are but a few examples of the show's prophetic prowess. The question that arises is, how does an animated sitcom manage such accurate predictions? Is it a case of wild coincidence? Or are the writers of The Simpsons truly gifted with the ability to foresee the future? Perhaps the answer is simpler. Maybe The Simpsons, with its satirical take on society, is adept at identifying trends and extrapolating them into the future. After all, satire is often a mirror to society, reflecting our follies and foibles, our triumphs and trials, and yes, even our future. So as we conclude, let's appreciate The Simpsons, not just for the laughter they bring, but also for the insights they offer. Next time you watch The Simpsons, pay close attention. You might just get a glimpse into the future.